Hi, my name is Lori, and this is my story. 2.5 years ago, I was a businesswoman out in California on a business trip. Took a red-eye home, very tired. Got to the airport, called my husband. He told me to meet him for dinner. I said, great. Put my suitcase in the car, paid the fee for parking, and that's the last thing I remember until I wound up in an ambulance. Come to find out that my car had gone over an embankment and down a ravine 25 feet. The challenge was that it was 20 miles from the airport, and I have no idea how I got there. All I remember is hearing somebody come down screaming, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I literally thought it was someone else, almost like an out-of-body experience. Come to find out, I've got a cracked nasal bone. I had a broken eye socket. I had a broken cheekbone, concussion, and lacerated liver. They put me into the trauma center for 5 days, mainly because of the lacerated liver. They wanted to make sure that I didn't bleed out. But my husband kept saying to me, "Have you seen yourself yet?" And I said, "No, they don't let me out of bed." Finally, they let me out of bed. I looked in a mirror and almost had a heart attack. The hematoma was so large that literally my eye was shut just from the swelling. I was told that the hematoma may never be completely right again. They also told me that the sight in my right eye, because of the break in my eye socket, may never see well again. They really did not give me a wonderful diagnosis. But little by little, I felt like I could get better, but when I looked at myself in the mirror, it almost looked impossible. Here I was, a successful businesswoman, traveling, and at this point, I didn't even want the nurses to look at me. That's how bad it was. They sent me home 4 days later with a huge hematoma on my cheek and a surgeon's office appointment. Went to the surgeon, and he told my husband that he was going to have to get the hematoma out. My husband asked, "Well, where do you do it?" He says, "I normally do it in the hospital, but this one is so severe that I'm going to do it right now in the office." So he and his assistant wrapped me in towels. That's how much blood I had accumulated in the hematoma. They wrapped me in towels, made an incision in my face, and just kept pulling and pushing and pulling and pushing until about 80% of it was out, stitched me up, and I was kind of excited. It looked a little bit better. 2 days later, here comes the hematoma again. So then I had to go every week to the surgeon just to have it drained. To this day, I still have little black sparkles that run around in my eye, which they said is probably from the eye socket. When I blink, this part of my face feels like it's pulling up to meet the other lash, and still very sore and tender, and this is 2 years later. One of the main things was everybody wanted to know, how could this have possibly happened? How could she lose 20 miles and probably 25 minutes of her life driving a car? And even the people that were behind me said she was completely stopped at the stoplight, and instead of turning right or left, she just rolled forward and went over the embankment and down the ravine. I don't remember any of it at all. So they started sending me to different doctors, and we eventually went to someone who started doing brain scans on me, and they did say that they found a slight abnormality in the brain that is related to seizures. He didn't think I had a seizure because he said normally when a person has a seizure for a day or so, they're very sluggish and tired, and I was actually bossing everybody around at the hospital, so they certainly didn't think it was that. But to this day, we still don't know. It was a scary time. I would say that the healing process and everything is still going on, especially with the soreness in my cheek and my blinking and my eye not being 100%. But I got up, I went out, and I didn't let it define me.